okay, if you're running a factory, you can say the Chinese workers may be are probably more diligent, more hardworking, more disciplined than American workers, because American workers been, we've been rich too long. Fubugo Sandai. We've got our people have been pretty comfortable, and so it's hard to find people in America that will work in factories. Um, that's where immigration comes in America. When our immigration system is working, people come in, they work their way up, and then their kids end up being PhDs at the top of our society. But the parents come in and work hard and take a lot of the jobs that Americans don't want anymore. China is in a different part of its economic development, but the China dream, the American dream, what's the difference? Nothing. Everybody wants their kids to have a better life than they do. They want good health care. They want a comfortable life. They want their personal freedoms. In China, I think there is a difference in politics in that Chinese people have been through so many difficulties. They have an instinct that maybe only strong leadership is a way they can keep stability. I think that's among the older generations who went through the Cultural Revolution, etc. I think among the younger people, they want more freedom. They're on the internet. They see the rest of the way the rest of the world is. Before COVID, they traveled a lot. They want to be more open. I think their dream is a much more open China. But generally, the party, when the party came up with the China Dream 10 years ago, their goal is you can have a personal dream, but it's got to fit with our dream. You can have what you do to fulfill your life has to be good for the whole country. It's got to be good for the party. It can't be all about you as an individual. And that's understandable, actually. America's all about the individual. You can't make me wear a mask. I may get the other guy sick, but you can't make me wear a mask. Can't make me do this, can't make me do that. It would be nice if American society had a little more cohesiveness and we looked out for each other more than we do these days. China is always trying to push people to have what you accomplish be good for everybody. I don't know how successful that will be, because young people in China, I work with mostly young people. It's a different generation. They've grown up in a different world, as many of your GCC members, are studying overseas and learning about a much wider world than you would if you were in China. Right now, both countries are at the extreme of our political system. America is at the extreme of its. There was a book written in 1985 called "Amusing Ourselves to Death." I think it was Neil Postman, and his thing was American politics and entertainment were starting to meld together. And now, several decades later, we ended with an orange reality star in the White House. That's where we're at the extreme of our infotainment, short-term thinking, get on cable news, yell at each other, infotainment political system, and our self-absorption. China has gone to the extreme of its Maoist, top-down Leninism, paranoia, wanting to control everything political system. So we're both at the extremes of our systems. Hopefully, both societies can bring their own system back towards a more even keel, and then we could probably have better relations. But right now, we're both societies and both political systems, not societies, where both political systems we're very far apart, and that is leading to both countries talking about, they're victims of the other. China's a victim of America, trying to keep America and the West trying to keep China poor. And then the Americans, Europeans say we're victim of China, of China's subsidies and of China's using its market to, take technology, etc. Hopefully, we can get away from all this victimization, because one thing that is very true, Americans and Chinese people get along very well as people. They're same sense of humor, same sense of family. Very independent minded. I mean, there's this thing that the Chinese people are very collective. They're collective if somebody's watching. Chinese people are very independent and open-minded, and as are Americans. And that's the glue that holds us together. And that's why I think GCC is very important. And all these other organizations that are people to people and hold America and China together through people to people, because we got to hold on to that. And business is another channel that holds things together despite the problems. We've got to hold on to that because our politicians are living in different worlds today, and they're both feeling very aggrieved. And that's not going to be good for the world.